2025, the year the nuclear threat might become reality. 5 alarming reasons. A more dangerous world. By 2025, the scale of the nuclear threat could increase alarmingly. The convergence of the arms race, geopolitical tensions, and emerging technologies creates risks unseen in past decades. Here are the 5 biggest dangers that could make 2025 the year of nuclear risk. 1. Nuclear modernization and the collapse of arms control. Why is this dangerous? The world's leading powers, the USA, Russia, and China, are currently conducting the largest nuclear development programs in history. These are not just a few new missiles, but entire next-generation weapon systems that are faster, more precise, and more destructive than ever. USA, the era of hyper-accurate, smart nuclear bombs. B-6112, the tactical nuclear bomb that can crush anything. This isn't your average nuclear weapon. The B-6112 is a next-generation, smart nuclear bomb with a yield of 50 kilotons, 3 times Hiroshima. GPS-guided, meaning it can hit its target with centimeter-level precision. Can be launched from drones. Algorithms, not pilots, could make life or death decisions. Stored in Europe, Germany, Italy, Turkey, making regional conflicts potentially nuclear. Columbia-class submarines, the invisible apocalypse. The USA is building 12 new Columbia-class nuclear submarines, each carrying up to 96 nuclear warheads. A single submarine could wipe out an entire continent. Near-silent technology makes them almost undetectable, ideal for first-strike use. Russia, Satan II, and the Poseidon torpedo, weapons of doom. RS-28 Sarmat, Satan II, death from the sky. The most destructive intercontinental ballistic missile ever built. Speed, 18,000 kilometers per hour, could reach New York in 15 minutes. 10 independent nuclear warheads capable of destroying 10 cities with one launch. Penetrates all current missile defense systems using hypersonic maneuvering warheads. Poseidon torpedo, the radioactive tsunami. Not a regular submarine weapon, Poseidon carries a 100 megaton nuclear warhead. Target, coastal cities like New York or London with radioactive tsunami floods. No defense exists against it, travels hundreds of meters underwater. China, the invisible nuclear giant. DF-41, the intercontinental missile, range of 15,000 kilometers, covers all of the USA. Can be launched from mobile platforms, making them almost impossible to detect and preemptively strike. Silent Shadow program, the underground nuclear web. China is building a secret tunnel network under mountains to hide nuclear missiles. No satellite reconnaissance system currently exists that can detect them. The death of arms control, why there is no break anymore. New START treaty expires in 2026 with no replacement. The last major nuclear treaty between the USA and Russia. Russia is already blocking inspections, and Putin threatens to withdraw. Without renewal, total arms freedom begins in 2026. No effective negotiations with China, which is rapidly catching up in the arms race. 2. Regional tensions. Where could crisis erupt? Ukraine, Russia, a war on the nuclear brink. Putin's nuclear threats, bluff or real danger? In September 2023, Putin declared, "If Russia's territorial integrity is threatened, we will use all available weapons, including tactical nuclear arms." Iskander missile stationed in Kaliningrad, West Russia, carried 2 500 kiloton nuclear warheads. Berlin and Warsaw are 4-minute targets. Dead hand doomsday system. If Moscow is destroyed, automatic nuclear retaliation could be launched. China-Taiwan, on the brink of a hypersonic world war. 2025 Taiwan invasion, real threat or fear-mongering? China's military could be ready for full invasion by 2025. 500,000 troops, 200 ships, 2,000 aircraft. The F-17 hypersonic missiles, 5-minute flight time to Taiwan, impossible to intercept. Alleged deadline 2027, but the Pentagon warns China could strike in 2025. USA involvement, the nightmare of atomic escalation. USS Ronald Reagan Carrier Group is stationed nearby. If China blockades Taiwan, U.S. ships may be drawn into direct conflict. Nuclear threshold. If U.S. ships are sunk, Washington might respond with nuclear weapons. 3. Where is this development happening now? USA, Project Maven, the Pentagon's AI system. Since 2018, the Pentagon has tested AI for military use. In 2023, secret reports suggest it's integrated into nuclear command. What can it do? Automatic target detection, analyzing satellite imagery to find potential enemy launch sites. Filtering false alarms, but what if the AI makes a mistake and thinks a real attack is happening? Russia, Dead Hand, the new version of the Doomsday System. An automatic nuclear response system exists since the Cold War to operate even if leadership is wiped out, being modernized with AI decision-making by 2025. The risk? A cyber attack on communication networks could trigger an unintended nuclear launch. China AI Dragon, the new weapon of software warfare. Since 2022, China is developing an AI system to control its missile defense, capable of predicting enemy attacks, but what if it misinterprets an exercise as a real threat? Top 3 dangers AI clearly reveals. False alarms, when a machine mistakes and ends the world. 1983 Soviet alert, a system detected sunlight reflections as missile launches. Only Stanislav Petrov saved the world. 2023 US test error, an AI algorithm mistook a meteor trajectory for a missile attack from California. It took 10 minutes to stop the alert. Cyber attacks, when hackers take over the controls. 2010 Stuxnet virus disabled Iranian nuclear centrifuges. 2025 what if a hacker group breaks into an AI-based nuclear system and sends false launch commands? 4. Amid the climate crisis, many countries are turning back to nuclear power as a promising way to cut carbon dioxide emissions. But, this seemingly green solution hides a risk: broader nuclear weapons proliferation. The risk of proliferation, nuclear energy production, and weapons development are separated by a thin line. A country enriching uranium or producing plutonium can, in theory, cross that line at any time. The Iranian example, a civil program turned weapon. For years, Iran claimed its nuclear program served only peaceful purposes. But actually, IAEA reports indicate covert weapons research. Uranium enrichment. Iran produced 20% enriched uranium, which is close to weapons grade at 90%. Hidden facilities. A major turning point was the discovery of uranium centrifuges in the secret Fordo cave. CFR warning: if not strictly controlled, nuclear energy expansion can lead to weapons proliferation. The weakening of diplomacy is, becoming pretty clear. No one is really in control. The United Nations and similar organizations are, becoming increasingly ineffective. Nationalism and protectionism are on the rise, for example, with Trump's return and those internal tensions within the European Union. So, what's the consequence? There's just no reliable platform for crisis management anymore. And honestly, when communication breaks down, the risk of misperception only grows. The World Economic Forum has sounded the alarm, saying lack of international cooperation could lead to nuclear catastrophe. If world leaders do not manage these risks, 2025 could be the point of no return. Without diplomacy, transparency, and arms control, a deliberate or accidental nuclear event becomes far more likely.
Thanks for watching Sci Explorer Hub.